Do you need to take a training and go get a permaculture certificate to make a living doing permaculture? Now, I started a business about 4 or 5 months ago where I install food forests and pollinator gardens for people, essentially doing permaculture, and I do not have a permaculture certificate. So what is a permaculture certificate? Now, permaculture is an organization. It's a type of farming, and it's a philosophy. All started by, I think it was Andrew Mollison. I have one of his books over here. We'll just pull it up. But the answer is there's a lot of overlap. Food forestry and permaculture can be pretty much the same thing. So here we got this permaculture book. You can read this book as I did and get all the same information that you're going to get in a permaculture course. You don't need to take a permaculture course. There's no hidden knowledge that they're just hiding from you if you don't take the course. But of course, it's a great way to learn. I'm sure it would be awesome. And I actually intend to do one perhaps pretty soon. I'm sure living in person, on site, learning all these things would be absolutely amazing. The point is that you don't need it to do food forestry. I have a couple other books right next to that one that are about food forestry, and they don't mention permaculture at all. But it's a lot of the same stuff. Just because permaculture is so popular, it's still just one little organization. Now, how does this organization work? The way that it works is it's kind of like a pyramid scheme, except it's really not a bad thing. It's just like, basically, in order to be able to use the permaculture brand, which has a lot of recognition, you have to have taken one of these courses. Also, if you take one of these courses, you can go teach one of these courses later on and make money doing that. So it's basically incentivized this whole thing where it's spread very much. People all know about permaculture. And in order to be part of the permaculture group and to be able to use it to do business, you have to have taken one of their courses. Now, the thing is, you can do food forestry and just not brand it as permaculture, which is what I'm doing, because it doesn't need to be under that specific label of permaculture. And then you can go and do that. But if you want to have a permaculture business, then you're going to need to go take the course. Now, in the context of the business I'm doing, the reason I don't think it matters is because what am I appealing to? Now, some customers don't know about permaculture. They like pollinator plants, maybe, for example, and I go and teach them about what else can be done with these whole ecosystem installations, where it's a whole forest ecosystem. It's more than just a couple of plants, a fruit tree. There's a lot more going on. And I can explain that to them. A lot of people who see the value in this, whether it's because you showed them the value or they're in alignment with it, they're looking for healthy food, they're looking for something good for the environment. If they see that you understand this, you have a track record of doing it, I really don't think it matters if you have the permaculture label in your marketing or even the certificate. I don't think anyone cares if you went and took a 3-week course. It's not really going to affect their opinion on if they think you can give them the result they want or not. So I would say it really doesn't matter. You shouldn't do it because you feel like you need to do it. Although I'm sure it could be great. I've heard a lot of really good things about the permaculture certificate. But in order to practice permaculture, maybe you technically need it. But if you want to do all the same things and just not call it permaculture, that's totally fine. You don't need to go take the course. You don't need the certificate. And don't at all, by the way, this is part of I think this is part 12 of a series about how to start a food forest installation business. And go watch the rest of the series, but this is just a quick little video basically saying that you don't need to let this hold you back if you don't have the certificate. If you're starting, I think you might be better off putting that money towards starting the business unless you don't have the knowledge. That's the thing, is that I went and I've studied this stuff for many years. I've worked on farms, applied it on my own farm, read so many books, watched so many videos. I'm sure a permaculture course would teach me a lot of great things, but it's not like I can't get that knowledge elsewhere. If you need to go get that knowledge, I'm sure that's a great way to do it, but there's a lot cheaper ways to do that. Although I would say it really is worth the investment. If you're someone who wants to work in permaculture, for sure, definitely go do it. There's nothing better you can invest in for your future than learning something great like that. I think it's a great idea, and I intend to do one. I just haven't yet. So there we go. That's the video. Peace.